but he's not.
They had me weak when they said, what did he say? What Andy said? He said, where's Juan at tonight? He's not at a basketball game. They said, ooh, Andy, they were shady.
And he ain't got no job.
What he was saying.
He not at work.
What he said. That's really what he said.
He not at work, so he ain't had time to come here. Okay. Well, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Black Bougie Bout It. I'm your girl, Jessica Monique.
And I am Ebony Ayana, and this is where you get real, raw, and rich conversation.
Period. No one over here, honey.
we were just talking about colorism, and we're gonna get a little bit into that. I guess first let's check in.
Yeah.
No, there's no real update. Life is lifing, okay?
Life is definitely lifing, but
I did just get a coochie wax, so
okay. I don't know if I clap or not on that because I know it hurt.
You know, this time did not hurt as bad. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if now, you know, after you go for so long, it starts to ease up a little bit. So today, and I was talking to my wax girl. I finally got me a black wax girl, y'all. I didn't have to cycle through so many white ones, but I finally got a black one.
My wax girl is black too.
Well, you know, when I moved here, I started going to European Wax Center. And so I just kind of was going to whoever they had. Mm-hmm. And so then I got cool with that girl. Okay, cool. Then she quit. Then I started going to another girl. She quit. So now I'm with the black girl.
Okay. Hopefully she stay on.
Right. Because I'm like, what's going on? At least
tell me you're going to quit so I can follow you or something.
Right. If you're going to do waxes at the crib, like, what's going on?
Right.
But I'm happy to be bald down there. I don't like having hair down there. Can't speak for everybody. But as for me and my house, we like it to be bare.
I too like it to be bare.
But yeah. Other than that, I'm good. I did go to a 5-year-old birthday party this weekend with my boo, and I ended up going with 4 kids. I spent the day taking care of 4 kids, and nothing in my life has ever confirmed to me more that I don't want kids. And let me not say that. I just don't want kids no time soon.
Like, I just don't want that damn many.
And for sure that part. Like really one thing I know for certain is I don't want no 4 kids.
I would really be okay with 1 kid. If the Lord bless me with 2, you for sure can know that that's where I'm gonna stop.
And when I push that second one out, I'm gonna tell them to go ahead and rip everything else out.
Yeah, I don't have a desire to have no Brady Bunch family. John.
So that was interesting. Yeah, I don't recommend. Just kids are different, and it's like they're very needy. Like they're extremely, especially young kids. They're all under the age of 10, so it was like extremely like. I was playing nail shop with the little girl for about 2 hours, and she literally wasn't doing nothing but taking the dum like the sucker and painting my nails with it for like an hour. And I was like, okay, can we close the nail shop? I need a break. She was like, I was like,
and you said
what else was I gonna do?
Get up.
But overall, it was fun.
That's when it's time to play the quiet game. Okay, let's we finna play clean up the nail shop. Let's pick up all these little blocks and stuff. Okay.
So yeah, overall, it was a fun experience, but I do not want to do it on a regular basis. So yeah. What about you?
For the most part, everything's the same. I kind of started working out at a new place because where we used to go, I think he is pretty much like, I don't know if it's just for this month, but he's kind of ending the classes for right now.
Okay.
So one of the other ladies suggested this other class, and so we all now go to a different place.
Okay.
So that's been fun. I can't say that it's less intense or more intense. It's about the same, but I will say we don't lift heavy in the new class like we did in the other one, and I missed that because I feel like lifting heavy really like be sculpting me, sculpting
building the muscle more.
And this is more like we do weights, but it's just 5-pound dumbbells, so it ain't super like hard. But when you in the class, you definitely tired. So them little 5-pound dumbbells be feeling like
I be
10.
using 3 pounds in my
Hell.
hot Pilates class, and I be in there.
Yeah. Yeah. They be feeling
I
like
got passed
8
out
or
yesterday.
10 for real. So but it's a good workout. I'm just happy to still be consistent and whatever. Other than that, I can't say it's a lot of other like life things going on, but I won't make this a whole dark cloud. We just trust God and we move on. Yay.
Damn. Well, hopefully, the sun will come out tomorrow.
Period.
Speaking about tomorrow, it's been so much rap beef this weekend, and Glorilla and JT and Carisha, Meek Mill, Wale, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. I'm just like, what the hell is going? Is it the eclipse? Was it the eclipse in the retrograde?
Maybe
Because
so.
I just don't understand why it's been all this commotion. Like, I feel like ever since them Diddy allegations and things have come out, it's just been stuff spewing and spewing and spewing. This is Cat Williams' fault. I blame him. Ever since he went on Club Shay Shay, shit has been a mess, and each month it continues to get worse and worse.
He did hit like a factory reset on everything. He really did. He really did. I guess we can start with JT and Carisha. How you feel about that?
First of all, I think this is all a part of, because Carisha said that she was coming out with a song on Friday. I think that this was all a ploy. This was all a scheme set up by Todd. I really feel like this was just some shit that they came up with. Because so yesterday I just hopped on Twitter, and I'm about to read some of these tweets all out of whack. So just go ahead and accept it. Y'all can go on there and do your own research. But like the first tweet I saw was Young Miami, and she said, "For you to come on here and try to play victim is crazy. Jatavia, you been sneak dissing me for the last couple of days, and I haven't said shit back to you. You made 2 whole songs dissing me, and I still rapped your shit with my chest and showed love. So what's the real problem here?"
Oh.
And then JT was like, said a tweet and was like, "I better not be mentioned since I'm not in an episode. Nothing should be addressed without me. Who are you? You done gave yourself a position of power. You're not my power of attorney. Sit your ass down." She was talking to Saucy Santana. Like, it was Saucy Young Miami. I mean, it was just, and I really don't understand where this, stem from. Another tweet was, "Girl, the internet told you," from JT was, "Girl, the internet told you that song was about you, saying it's city girl shit even when it ain't city girl shit. That was released under City Girls, or the one that say riding solo, but I'm still in the group. Get your phone back from whoever this is, and baby, don't play with me."
You know what? I will say that I love JTM. Y'all can never make me hate her.
I'm like, but apparently they made up, because then through 2 hours later, they both said, "I love you, moving on," and all of that. So I don't know. Like I said, I think this was all a scheme set up by Todd.
Good Lord. I know Todd going, if he watched this, he'd be like, "How I get in it?" I really wish they had to argue like offline and not in front of everybody, because they have so much history and they have been like such good friends and just obviously business partners and in the group, that I really hate to see them fall out so publicly. But it's been rumors, that they was like on the outs a little bit ever since that last album, and then like when Carisha was doing stuff on her own with the Carisha Please and the Game, and doing all those kind of things, and even when JT would like do different little verses or do different features without her. So I don't know. Maybe it's kind of been brewing for a while, or who knows, but I'm glad they made up. I just feel like next time they argue, I don't want to know about it.
Right. But I also feel like once you make that shit to the public, it's like, I feel like they won't, like, even though they made up, they still not the same.
I mean, because everybody else gonna always bring it up again, and so it's like with your man when you or who man or your woman, like
We are
if
inclusive on this
right
podcast.
with your significant other, that's why you can't tell everybody when y'all fall out because everybody else always remember.
That's
And
something
then
that I'm currently working on.
y'all make up and y'all good, and everybody else like, because when they had it,
Cause I'll be
so
so quick to call my mama. I'll be like, Mama, guess what didn't happen? And guess what then? And I'll be like, oh, I need
mhm,
to stop doing this because all my mama is gonna do is remember all the bad stuff.
yeah.
Because like I forgot who said this, but they were like, you always write a bad review, but you never write a good one.
And see, the fact of the matter is, nobody knows, even in friendships, nobody knows a lot of the times what happens between two people, but
Mm-hmm.
those two people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially in relationships, because they're not there to see like all of the nuances between y'all and
Right.
how y'all fall out all the damn time or whatever. Like they're not there to see that. So from the outside looking in, and because you only the one telling them a story, it may seem like, oh, that's kind of toxic. I don't know if they need to be together, but in real life it may not even be that bad. So
Right.
I don't know. I just wish they had to kind of like got it together offline, especially with like how women, how we argue. We gotta like do some little insults and like all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I feel like that's why I think it was a young love. She said you always fight fair with people who you love. Cause once you say certain things, once you do
Can't take it
certain
back.
things, you cannot take it back. And one thing for sure, a motherfucker gonna always remember what you said.
Cause I'm and that's the truth. I remember so much shit. I be telling a certain somebody stuff that they said, and they be like,
Mm-hmm.
I said that. I be like, yes, you said that.
Yeah.
You said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You for sure
You
said that.
should never unhear certain stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just
Mm-hmm.
watch your mouth
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. Now,
That's why I always watch when I say
niggas,
when I'm upset.
people be deserving it sometimes, for real. Like sometimes if you gotta get it off your chest, then do so. But if it's not even one of those like kind of a situations, I just feel like I don't need to escalate things that aren't even a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, next on the beef list was JT and Glorilla. Big Glow. Get them
So
glow. Get them
did
glow.
Glorilla
Get them
slap
glow. Get
JT
them
or
glow.
not?
So apparently, you remember back when they was at some award show and they had
Yeah.
speculated that they got to fighting. So apparently, Glorilla had bopped JT with her purse,
Mhm.
and JT ain't really do nothing bad.
Allegedly, because JT
Allegedly,
and them saying that it never actually happened. It was just a rumor, but Glorilla never cleared it up. So now people think that it happened. That's what she said on her end.
right? Well,
Okay.
apparently, Glorilla released a new track over the last, few days, and she addressed the beef that they supposedly had. These are the lyrics. No cap, I was a black sheep. Thank the Lord, he was my shepherd. She tried to do it like me, gave the hoe an E for effort. I just pray one day the bad bitch would come together, because bad bitches would come together. Because Cardi and Nicki on the track will break some fucking records. Me and JT ain't the best of friends, but we ain't beefing. No bitches always having Anna that they keep a secret. And I'm gonna just leave it there because trying
Yeah.
to read
Yeah.
this like Glorilla, it's I'm struggling. I'm a little too articulate.
Mm. Okay.
And all this kind of came out amid the song that Glow and Meg dropped, which I love. 10 out of 10. That Soulja Boy beat gonna always
Mhm.
go hard.
Oh yeah.
Um But yeah, all this kind of came out when they dropped the song with the apparent beef between them two. So it's not really much news there. I just was like, why are they beefing? And then we all know about the Kendrick and J. Cole, because when Kendrick was on the Future song,
Mhm.
he said, it's Big Me, nigga. Fuck the big three. And everybody was like, oh, he's talking about Drake. Oh, he's talking about J. Cole. Oh.
Mhm.
So,
Did
and
you
then
like J. Cole's response?
I didn't listen to it. But what I did see is I did watch the video of him saying that was the lamest shit he ever did.
I mean, he's not lying. Here's my thing. When people put out diss tracks, I be ready for some like some something. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna wait that long to put out a diss track, I need to be like fire, like amazing. I didn't get that. Great rapper, love him, beautiful
Mm-hmm.
gown. You know, I love him,
I
but
need that Pusha T. I really, when you talking about coming out with a reply or some shit,
mm,
like when Pusha T told the world that Drake had a kid and we had no idea. That's the type of shit I want to hear in the beef.
mhm.
Okay,
I
if you
guess
want
so,
to
but
put
I
some
don't like
beef,
when men be like messy like women in beef. You know what I mean? Like
I
beef
don't,
like
but
men.
I
I
do
don't
kind
like
of like
that. I
it in the
think that's
songs.
I don't like that. I beef like men. Like
So
give
how
me a
you beef like a
Jay-Z,
man in the song?
like give me a Jay-Z Nas beef. Like, motherfuckers ain't hitting the labels and the records I'm hitting. Then I seen him and he had, I don't know, but don't give me like Peter always in women's business beef. I don't need you to
Trisha,
beef like that.
I
I
love
need,
it.
you know what I'm
Now
saying?
I
Beef
don't
like
condone it
men.
because I don't believe that we should bring children into adult business.
True.
But I did like it. I was like, oh
I
wait,
mean,
or
yeah,
Meek Mill and
everybody.
Drake when they had their beef and he dropped his song. Like that's the beef I like. Like, let's get back
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of tired of beef. Like, y'all just need to take y'all ass home. And the way I be feeling about beef, I be feeling like, don't we have so many other things to be, going on right now?
All right,
You
Dr. Lee.
need. That's how I feel. You need to get in the studio and work on your beats and your rhymes and get your ghostwriters together because a lot of this shit y'all putting out, it ain't good.
It is. A lot of the shit is trash.
The
I'm
albums
gonna
don't be
listen
good.
to all of Bryson Tiller's album, but I'm not gonna lie. The songs that I've heard,
You know what I'm saying? But you want to beef though.
and he's not beefing. That was just my example.
Of course, but I'm
Um,
just saying, like, in
but the City
general.
Girls' last album was trash. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's probably a strong. I liked maybe 5 songs off of that.
I wouldn't
I
even give it
think
that
my
many.
favorite was Fancy Ass Bitch.
Yeah, no, I listened to it and none of it stuck with me. So
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
none
mm-mm.
of it was anything that I had not heard before. You know,
That's the
nothing.
thing. I
No,
don't think they
not
like
good bars.
it was
Nothing like.
there. I don't see any growth from them on that album. Like that felt like an
Mhm.
album they should have been had out or something. Like that was
Or
a bunch
even
of
like an
old
EP,
songs.
like maybe not even an album, like just drop
Yeah,
some
they could
songs.
have just put that out or something. I don't
Hmm.
know. Um. mm, hmm.
And I don't know. Meek Mill been in a lot of drama, so I'm not even. We ain't gonna talk about him. He got a
He
lot of
be giving
things to
me
worry
lame
about.
so much. It's something about him that gives me
Well,
lame.
he didn't been named up, down, and all through that Diddy case. So I am going. We gonna just see how this plays out.
It's still giving me lame. So
I first I used to think Meek Mill was so fine. Don't ask me why.
at
Um,
one point, and I'm talking about for this long, I used to
Like
think he
I
was
think
fine.
it was like in that Nicki era. I don't know. Maybe it
Yep.
was like it was something.
Mm-hmm.
You are the baddest. I am the realest. I don't know. It
Yeah.
was just something about it. I
He
was
was
like,
getting a
ooh.
haircut. His beard was
He had the
edged up and trimmed
chain
up right. The
shining.
chain
He
was
looked
in.
like he
Yeah.
smelled good. You know.
Yeah. 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 Now
Um.
he looked.
When I saw that picture of his legs in the pool with them fries in his lap, and he didn't have not nary a napkin, plate, cup, anything, I was like, what the fuck kind of nigga is
Sometimes
this?
it be given that he stank.
Like, why are
Yeah.
you sitting in the pool with fries in your lap, eating fries with no type of nothing?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said I only liked him for this long because I saw like a freestyle or something he did, and I want to say it was around the time he was with Nicki or right after they broke up. But like
Uh-huh.
his swag then, like you said, like he always had a haircut, he was dressed good.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he was trying to hang out with Jay-Z and them all the time. So you had to have
Mm-hmm.
your things in order. You might need
Mm-hmm.
to call your Illuminati friends back because you look raggedy. Sometimes he be looking raggedy.
And he just meek be meeking, as like the streets say. It's just something
It be looking
about
raggedy.
him. Something that we were talking about before we got on a pre-pod was about, so I don't know if you all have heard of this YouTube kind of show series or forum, I don't know what to call it, called Olay and Friends. And because I'm not gonna say her whole name, but I'm gonna make sure to link her channel below, because I don't want to mess up her name. I'm pretty sure it's African, and I don't want to miss, but she goes by Olay. She's been on the Breakfast Club a couple times as far as like political commentating and talking about like the mayor of New York, Mayor Adams, and other different, political figures, and kind of being a force that challenges them and the things that they've done and the things that they're saying. But recently she had her forum, Olay and Friends, and they had the topic, two different topics. One was Black media in a crisis, and then also they talked about the comparison of Amanda Seales versus Candace Owens, and how we never pretty much like put Amanda Seales on this platform, and held her up in a way, except for in 2020 when we all were Black Power and Black Lives Matter marching and all that. Then they got her to host the BET Awards and, all of that. But then, since then, she really hasn't had a real upward, trajectory. And even recently, she's been kind of like berated in the media, specifically Black media, for, to me, absolutely no current reason, in comparison to Candace Owens, who all she has said is shit that people have been saying for years, which is the government took Black men out of the Black community because of these things, and like repeating shit that we been knew, and y'all is eating that shit up, and everybody's like, oh, Candace Owens is for the Black people, and she's been on the Breakfast Club, she's been on the Joe Budden podcast, she's been going to HBCUs. I mean, she has been just on this Black media tour pretty much, and they've been like celebrating her. And on Olay and Friends, they were kind of talking about the comparison of Candace Owens and Amanda Seales, and how the society has been lifting Candace up, meanwhile they've been tearing Amanda down.
I think, okay, let me be clear on here, because I have said on here maybe 2-3 episodes ago, every now and then Candace Owens says something I agree with, and every now and then she does, but I don't think I'll ever really like her, because she has said some of the most like craziest shit about Black people. She has said some of the like any of the most like right-wing conservative things, like even believing that Trayvon Martin and them deserve to die, or just like a lot of these different police shootings. She's been on there defending the police officers and like saying bad things against Black people. I ain't forgot about none of that shit. And I the only time I agree with Candace Owens specifically was when she said Lizzo did not need to have her ass cheeks out at that basketball game, and I 100% agree with that.
She said, we didn't disrespect Lizzo's ass cheeks. Lizzo's ass cheeks disrespect.
Like, I 100% agree with that, because that shit ain't made not a lick of sense, okay? But, as it pertains to her being on this whole, like, Black tour or whatever, I think, honestly, this is a ploy to get more Black people to vote for Trump, because if you look at the media now, there are a lot of more Black people, because they don't like Joe Biden, that are turning to Trump's side. And I think seeing somebody like her, who is a conservative, also say some like good things about Black people and pander to Black people, it can sway others Black people opinion, because we do have such a important voting base to vote and be Republicans. I think that is the only thing that is about. Period. I think they are just using her as like
to get Black votes.
To get Black votes. I think that's it. And I wouldn't believe a damn thing she say. She still ain't clipped her damn ends. Get on. I don't have nothing that. Meanwhile, Amanda Seales, we just talked about this. Amanda Seales is one of the most Malcolm X ass women I've ever seen in my life, and I like that. I like how she always is calling shit out. I like how she's 10 toes down. I like how she come with research. She say her big words, and she mean what she damn say. Okay, she's never switched up, and you always know whose side she on. And I think that kind of loyalty to our community should be celebrated, honestly, regardless of the type of person she is. Now, if she was the kind of person who behind the scenes was doing some crazy shit or some illegal shit, then yeah, she deserved to be called out. But like if you just don't like her, or like you met her one time and she ain't tell you, hey,
Right.
okay,
Because the work that she's doing and the things that she's saying and the
and
spotlight that she's shining on things, I feel like, truth be told, and maybe this is because I'm biased, which I said earlier when we were talking, I feel like she's one of the few celebrities who actually speaks on shit that happens in our community. Because
yes,
unfortunately, a lot of the celebrities that we praise, even Beyonce, even a Jay-Z, or even,
exactly.
some of our biggest stars, when shit happens, like real shit happens, they don't say anything
No,
because, unfortunately, that can mess up money and deals and other things. But one thing, like you said, at the beginning of the conversation, it was like she stands 10 toes down no matter what.
yes.
No matter what. Like, it don't matter if she gonna lose a check, she like, shit, I'd rather lose the check and support my people than be on some fuckery with y'all. And I appreciate that because we need more of that in our community. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
a, a lot of our downfall is because some of us, and I'm even guilty of this, do a lot of shucking and jiving for other people so that we can be successful, so that we
Of
can
course.
get in the room, so we can get a seat at the table.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I
So,
for her, I imagine it's not an easy place to be in, because you see how lately she's been like berated by media. All these
mhm,
articles have come out about her, or like people, talking about these negative experiences they had with her, or just people flat out saying they don't like her or whatever.
mhm,
It's not an easy like position to be in, to always be the one to call shit out. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
just like we were talking about earlier, it's some people who probably don't want to hear that shit all the time, but that's what she does. Like,
right,
you don't get a day off. Like, nobody told Martin Luther King, look, hey, you might need to step back from all this little preaching. Like, he's Martin Luther King.
right.
Like,
And they, even if they did tell him that, he probably looked at them and was like, "Get on out my way."
right, like he was fighting for a goal. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm,
I do like the fact that she stand 10 toes down, because people like Beyonce and whoever, Jay-Z, a lot of the bigger celebrities, they do everything in secret. Or
mhm,
like, they donate money or they help people in secret, and the public never knows about it. It's
right,
fine, but I feel like it is so like, it is so good for people to see like this is what they're doing,
right.
or like for the public to know like, oh, when this shooting happened, like, you actually went there and gave money to the family, and you actually attended the funeral. I think people try to be so politically correct all the
Or
time,
even
like you're
having the tough
saying.
conversations,
Even having a
because
tough conversation, they never
like
put their neck out there, I feel like.
like when we were talking earlier kind of about like Real Housewives of Potomac and them being like very like kind of hush hush about the whole colorism conversation. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like, and like they said on the episode, I think it was Karen who said this is the perfect group of women to talk about this,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, and this is the perfect platform to talk about this, because you have all these different shades of Black women from all these different walks of life who could really have an open and honest conversation about what goes on within our community, with colorism. But instead, what we got was Robin crying and playing victim, talking about, I've never had to have this conversation a day in my life. That's sad that you is damn near 50, because I know Robin in her 40s, damn near 50. And if that is true, that you've never had a conversation about colorism, and that let me know how much attention you are paying in your own community and what you are teaching your own Black boys.
Mm-hmm. I think because I know people even bring that up about Amanda. They be like, oh, is she even Black?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or
Or
whatever. But
she's saying this, she can say this because she's light skinned.
right. I don't think that just because, and people should not be ignorant enough to think that just because you light skinned, that you like not gonna go through things like a normal African American person would. You still
Mm-hmm.
Black. But what people are trying to say is you deal with certain biases, that
Mm-hmm.
might either work in your favor or that work against other darker complexic people, because you are light skinned, because the world favors lighter skinned people. That's what they're trying to say. And I think it's like, it's so annoying when you try to point things out to people and they completely make it about them. And I think that's exactly what the people on Potomac do. They are so dense. Like, girl, she not saying, oh, she is saying you're a colorist, but she's saying you're a colorist because the way that you have these arguments, and then the way that you run and start crying when somebody calls you out or asks you a question, you are handling this situation like a white woman would because you are light skinned.
Right. Because and it was even on the show. Now, granted, Giselle was talking about the passing of her father, right? But the support that Giselle got when she started crying, or when Robin got when she started crying, in comparison to when Candace started. Now, granted, Candace cries all the fucking time.
I'm being real with you. I don't even know why the hell Candace be crying. Because why you crying over people that you act like you don't like? Good.
That you talk about like a dog on the street.
Yeah, get the hell on. I'm glad she leaving.
But Giselle sat up there and cackled like a damn bat out of hell when Candace was crying. So it's like it was giving
but
Mean
I know what
Girl.
You mean. Yeah,
but it was also giving Mean Girl a little bit. The way she laughed.
Good. I mean, look, at a certain point too, like they definitely be playing that little light skin card. I said that on here last year. They do be playing that shit. They might not know they be playing it, but it's exactly what they doing, and they need to be careful because all of them slept with darker skinned men. All they kids look like the other women on the show. So you need to be careful of like what you may be teaching your children and how they're gonna move in the world as your kids, okay? But when it comes to them on the show, Candace sat up and called her like white looking ass, or like what she said, her dwindling uterus. Bitch, I don't like you.
Now Candace is and forever will be deserving of that ass whooping that Monique gave her. Yeah. Like forever, and I will for always stand behind that. Some of the stuff Monique did recently, but that shit right there. And it further proved my point this season when she got to fighting with the Sesame Street girl, because it was just like that. All that didn't even have to happen.
Even though Ashley set her up, and she completely get away from any kind of accountability every time, because it's like, oh well, I didn't make her.
I didn't know Deborah was coming with that energy.
Why would you even invite Deborah if you going out with them and you know they don't like each other? Stupid ass girl. You need to worry about why your wig sitting so high and stop inviting folks to the party we know we don't like.
Well, she just trying to stay on the show because that's the only source of income she got without Michael.
And she's talking about she rubbed his feet. Are you a house slave?
No, she's doing what Coco Jones say. I was doing what I had to do for a check. I was the
employee. Girl, stand up.
Ashley said, I ain't trying to do nothing for real for the rest of my life.
She rubbed his feet every night. Child. Okay, well,
speaking of colorism, another situation where colorism kind of reared its ugly head was last week with Cardi B and Ray Monte. Now, if y'all don't know who Ray Monte is, he is a TikTok influencer, social media creator.
Him.
Who I kind of know him for being, in Target and going up to people and be like, yo, Bob.
Excuse me, ma'am. Your outfit is wonderful. You're a bad bitch. You're killing it. You're taking it there. Yo, and they be like, oh my God, thank you. I love it.
He'd be like, you look amazing. You just look like you're living lavish, so rich and exclusive.
And the little white ladies, they be like, oh my God, thank you.
Today, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said that today was going to be a good day. And
he'd be like, give me a little pose.
For me, young man.
He'd be like, give me a little pose. And I'd be like, I love him.
I really do. But he did a TikTok video after his birthday trip. Him and his some other creators and friends went on a birthday trip. Because I guess everybody was asking, like, Ray Monte, you went on a trip for your birthday. You should have had the brand sponsor this. You should have went on a brand trip. Why aren't you doing, getting all these opportunities like other creators? Why So he made a response video saying like, hey, I'm appreciative for the opportunities that I get. I'm grateful for the different things I do. He was like, but, I just, I feel as if I'm too ghetto, to get some of those opportunities. And
Yeah.
he further went on to say, like, people like Cardi B can get different opportunities and different things, because they're a lighter complexion, but rappers who rap about the same stuff as Cardi B, like Suki or the City Girls or, Sexy Red or other darker skinned, female rap artists don't get those same brand deals or opportunities that Cardi B has been given. Well, I guess Cardi B had time because she proceeded to respond to Raymonte via Twitter, and they just kind of had an exchange going back and forth about kind of how black Cardi is, or how she's not black enough, or how she's always been perceived as being called ghetto, and that stopped different situations from her. And I don't know, for me, and maybe this is me because I had this conversation with my partner, and she's very light skinned, extremely light skinned, and she got really upset. And she was just like, I don't like how, we always have to have this conversation about colorism in our community. This is what they want us to be divided and us to be arguing with each other about colorism. And, we're all black. And at the end of the day, I get treated like I'm black, just like you get treated like you're black. So I don't understand why we need to be talking about it. And I kind of got a little upset myself because you always hear that from lighter skinned people. At least in my experience, I never hear a darker skinned black person be like, we shouldn't be talking about colorism. Like, because we know it's a real fucking thing. Like, and the fact that they can't acknowledge that always kind of perturbs me, because I'm like, yes, you are black, but we're not going to sit up here and act as if the paper bag test wasn't a real thing. Right. House slaves, outside slaves weren't a real thing. And a whole lot of other, different systematic racism that went on, and then even seep down into colorism and like throughout history. Like, let's talk about Rosa Parks and Claudette Colvin, okay? And how Claudette was the first person to sit her ass on that bus. But she was young and had kids out of wedlock and was dark skinned. So they didn't want her to be the face of the movement. So they waited till Rosa Parks sat her ass down and made her the face of the movement in the bus boycott. Is that not colorism?
I think the reason why they sometimes get offended by that is just because their experience is so different than other darker skinned people. You know what I'm saying? I never grew up really feeling any kind of way, I guess, about my own color because I'm just brown. You know what I mean? Like, and I have all colors of the rainbow in my family. Like, each and every one of my grandmothers were light skinned, especially my dad's mother. She was very high yellow. And my great grandmother on my mom's side, very light skinned. On both, they're very light skinned. So my family never like raised me to feel beneath any of my light-skinned cousins or anything like that. I feel like that's something I learned from the world, or just when you become aware of societal norms. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But as far as with Raymonte and Cardi B, this is another example of like when you can't take yourself out of a situation to see what the actual point is. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like the ladies of Potomac do all the time. They can't even like grasp what Candace and them are trying to say because they have to insert themselves in it. You know what I mean? And they make it everything personal. I think with Cardi B, she cannot ignore the fact that she's been given a lot of like high fashion opportunities. She's gone to the Met. She's done all these things because to mainstream media, lighter skinned people are easier appeal to swallow.
And to most mainstream media, I don't know if they look at her as a black woman. I'm just gonna be real.
Yeah, I think honestly they view her as more Spanish.
Right. I was gonna say I would definitely think they would at least consider her Afro-Latina at the very minimum.
Yeah.
But I don't think their brain immediately goes to that's a black woman right there.
But also I think she is one of those people like The Rock, where The Rock is like a black ass man, but he doesn't look
very racially ambiguous.
Now what?
You don't know The Rock is black until he tell you his name.
Yeah,
like my name Dwayne. Oh, you was a nigga.
Dwayne Johnson. Like,
Johnson. That's you got Dwayne Johnson.
you know, he like your favorite, your friendly neighborhood black man.
I was about to say your friendly neighborhood nigga.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, and I think that's kind of what she is. It's like sometimes it's easier for like mainstream media to digest blackness when people light skin. Like, look at Zendaya. Look at a lot of the opportunities that Zendaya gets that other black girls would eat up. And it ain't even because she just skinny or whatever, because it's a lot of like a lot of the young girls are skinny
in comparison to like a Ryan Destiny.
Yes, like same thing. And I just think that you'd be remiss if you didn't at least acknowledge that. And I think that is why people like Zendaya in the past have like gone to bat for darker skinned women, because they recognize their privilege. That's what that means. And I think people like Cardi B lack of.
Go ahead and say it. Is it what I wish I knew the words you was looking for.
This is a good example of why the kids need to stay in school. I feel like people lack a certain maturity sometimes to really like understand, really digest what people are saying. Take yourself out of the equation. Like understand history. Like that's what we trying to get white people to understand. Like it is not the fact that you know, we hate all of y'all. That ain't even our MO for real. That's your people who hate every damn body. If we just keep it above. We just saying acknowledge the fact that your ancestors have done this to ours. See, it's the same thing for light-skinned people. It's like, I'm not saying I don't like light-skinned people. We love y'all. Y'all are black people. But we're just saying, can't you acknowledge the fact that you're being chosen for things over me? Not because you're more talented or because you deserve it more, but just because you light-skinned. That's what I'm saying. And I just think, get up in here. Get up in there. So you want to argue all the damn time on Twitter and trade insults, but you're not really trying to understand what the fuck people are talking about. And I think that's a disservice as a grown ass woman.
Yeah. And I feel like, and I don't know, maybe this is because like I said, I was having a conversation with my partner about it, and something she said was just like, you don't see no other race talking about no light skin, dark skin. And I'm like, one, that's a lie.
That's a big lie.
In Asian culture, I know for sure they have a whole thing about being tanner or being lighter. And she's like, well, white people ain't doing no light skin, dark skin. I said, you're right, because they're all white. Because white is white.
Because even like they discriminated against Italian people because they was more olive skin tone, and like they'll discriminate against like Slavic people and like the people that they call the gypsies and stuff. So that's a lie.
Well, educate me, see. But also at the end of the day, white is white too, and a white person will treat another darker skinned white person better than they will a nigga at the end of the day.
I mean, it's all a bowl of mixed crackers, child. That's all it is. But they have their things too. That's why, okay, just for example, when you look at like the Holocaust, all of those are white people. Like, but you see how they are creating separates amongst themselves. That's what that is. Yes. There are different kinds of people all over the world. But at the end of the day, for some reason, the world just liked the white one.
Right. But I don't know. It was amazing to see how, and even she was like, what did she say? She said something like, you know, had people tell me I need to go back to Africa, or I've had people call me a nigger and da-da-da. And then I was like, well, you know, nobody's negating, like, the conversation when we talk about colorism is never negating that you are not a black person or that you do not have a black experience. But it's about the fact that you as a light-skinned person also have to be aware and acknowledge that you
have a certain amount of privilege.
Just like there's white privilege, there is light skin privilege. That's a real thing. Just like there is upper middle class privilege or middle class privilege or whatever, tall privilege, pretty privilege. There are different type of privileges in life that we are afforded. and we have to acknowledge those and be aware of those. And when a thing is a thing, call a thing a motherfucking thing. Yeah, you as a light-skinned person might not have been afforded a better opportunity, but that does not mean that some light-skinned people have not been given opportunities over darker-skinned people. That just means you didn't experience it, but it don't mean it's not true.
It's not happening, right? I mean, if you look at the controversy behind brand deals and brand trips anyway, there have been so many different times where somebody like Jackie Aina, she didn't get invited or she's been disrespected by different brands with her having such a huge platform and such a huge following. And she has gotten left out of those conversations because she's a darker skinned Black woman, whereas they'll get somebody who's lighter skinned to do the same campaign, and they don't even have as much influence as her. That happens,
or the experience, because that'd be another thing too.
And that happens. And then on the other end, people like Kyra, who we watch, or whatever, or even Aaliyah. Kyra just went on a brand trip last year. She hadn't even been invited on no brand trips, and her following has grown exponentially, and she actually make good content. Right. So, and she's a light-skinned girl, she's mixed, but she's still Black. So a lot of these brands don't want Black girls, period. They just want white girls to come on the trips. So it's like she's still experiencing a level of racism, even though she light-skinned. Like, two things can be true at once here.
Right.
You know, but think about now that they are picking people, they might pick Kyra over Unwi. You know what I'm saying? Just because they think she's the light-skinned girl or whatever. Like, that's the kind of things that people are saying. That's the kind of conversations people are having. And I just think, like, don't be like dense enough where you miss the point, or you get offended by something that you really can't even control.
Right.
You ain't got nothing to do with that. You can't help that you was born light-skinned, you know. Right. But it's happening out here. And I think sometimes people just want like the acknowledgement, like, this is what the girls are going through. Like, y'all don't see that. Like, they just want somebody to say, like, I'm going through this. Y'all don't see this shit. That's right. What people, I feel like, and when people try to like gaslight you into like, that's not really happening. Like, it's not because I'm light skinned. It's because I've been working hard and because I've been grinding. Is it?
I truly believe Sweetie is the prime example of that shit. And I don't care what nobody says. She's the prime example of pretty light skin privilege.
I do think so, because we know the music ain't hidden. You know what I mean? They'll never make me hate Sweetie, though. That's a sharp ass
Rich Tivity's song.
That's a sharp ass.
I like it.
They'll never make me hate Sweetie. That's a sharp ass bitch.
But
I'm sorry.
But the bars ain't never there for me all the way.
But she keep a brand deal now. She done had a damn McDonald's sauce sandwich. She done had Crocs. She had all kinds of stuff.
She had Sweetie University with YouTube, that stuff. Yeah. She's had
on one hand, I do feel like she has to do those things though, because she hasn't put her album out yet. So I feel like
it gets trash.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying she has to secure a lot of these deals, because how else would she be making money?
Exactly, because if Sweetie put out an album, that shit would do worse than a City Girls album. And you remember how bad they was talking about that shit? Like, nobody's gonna listen to a Sweetie full project. Like, and that's no, Sweetie, if you see this, I promise I don't mean this in no disrespect, because I know you went on your healing journey and you went out there on the islands and you tried to, grow and
actually transform. Like Sweetie. I like her personality.
I really fuck with you, but the music, I like the song with Doja. That was really good.
Honestly, hell, even look at Doja Cat. She didn't got a lot more opportunities, I feel like, to be more mainstream faster than even the City Girls did. Right. She didn't had a lot of different deals and just like mega success. And that bitch can rap.
Or even if you see like Lotto's trajectory in comparison to some of the other darker skinned rappers who have, kind of been out for as long as Lotto has been, like a Flo Milli maybe, or a Doechii, or some of these other artists who kind of pretty much been in the game the same way. I don't see Doechii everywhere like I see Lotto. I don't see, or Young Baby Tate. I don't see her everywhere. Like, I don't see
I
them.
would say the only other person who's not light skinned that's doing stuff like that is Meg.
Right. And she's in between.
Yeah, she in between. And I also feel like it's that machine behind her because she's signed to such a major label.
Right.
So like,
Mm-hmm.
but also I feel like, okay, I feel like Doja Cat, Meg, and Lotto can actually rap too.
Oh no, they put in
You know
the
what I'm
well. I
saying?
can't speak for Doja. Was not at the beginning of Doja career, but Meg putting that work.
Yeah.
And as much as sometimes something about Lotto always just rubs the back of my neck wrong, and I can't put my finger on it, but I fuck with her music. I think
Why
it's
is
because
the
I
back
remember
of
how.
your neck?
I think it's because I always think of her as Mulatto on the rap game.
Yeah.
And that little helpful got on my nerves. I did
Yeah.
not like Mulatto. Now, Lotto I fuck with, but Mulatto was a little bitch.
See, I didn't watch the show for real, so I can't say, that was my first experience with her. But I feel like Lotto, she can actually rap. I
Right.
Meg
Yeah. And she's
can
been
actually
doing it for
rap.
a long time.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I
I feel
think
like they should be good.
Yeah, I think Lotto, if Lotto worked on her like on stage performance,
Mm-hmm.
I think she would be amazing. Not that her on stage performance is bad, but I just feel like sometimes she can be a little like stiff. But
Mm-hmm.
I love her. I think she's a pretty girl. I think her music is good. Like, but honestly, I feel like
Can the girls stop being barefoot? Also, I don't know when that became a cool thing to perform barefoot, like just straight bare ass raw ass feet on the stage.
is that what she did with the iHeartRadio thing?
Yeah, I saw a clip. No, it was like this past weekend. I don't know if it was Dreamville or it was some clip I saw her and she was like barefoot on the stage. And I know Sexy Red be doing that and some like. Can we get back to having a little class? At least put on a little sneaker or
I've been
something.
saying that, y'all. I've been saying that. I be trying
Like
to get
y'all
a
really
grandma.
putting y'all feet on that nasty ass stage where thousands of people be touching every day,
I've
and
been
y'all
saying
gonna get
that.
up there and perform. Y'all gonna have athletes' foot and gangrene in
I've
between
been
your
saying
toes.
that. Nowadays, a lot of times I feel like some of the performances be giving like city stages. Like if me and you wanted to be a rapper and we just get our ass up there, like y'all ain't
I would at least
rehearsed,
have some
the
shoes
mic
on.
ain't on, you don't know the rap. We got to sing the whole rap. You don't know the dance routine. Now your feet hurt. You came out your damn heels. What is this?
Bring back artist development.
Please, because this is sad. You might get you a brand deal off some hard work if you show up. Hell.
Right.
But yeah, to put a nice little bow on that, I just feel like we have to start like being open to having conversations and stop like shutting people down. And he wasn't even saying what he said about her in a shady way. I
Right.
think maybe because she going through something right now, maybe she was projecting a little bit. Because I will say that I think some of the girls like maybe it's because they celebrities and people always be coming at them, but
Mm-hmm.
not every single criticism that you get is coming from like a
Place
mean
of
place.
malice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like sometimes people, you're a celebrity, your name's
Mm-hmm.
gonna come up. People are gonna
Right.
use you as an example. I think being an adult, a mother of two, and I guess a wife still, you need to like understand real communication and understand when people is coming for you and when they not. Like
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't even have time to respond to every damn thing. Like, just I don't
And
know.
I also feel like, and maybe this is me, I feel like Cardi B should be at a level now where you shouldn't be on Twitter responding to no Ray Monte. And not to say that there's like a hierarchy there, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like we talking about you have won Grammys, you know,
Mm-hmm.
platinum selling albums.
Yeah.
Like, you, first of all, you should be so damn busy that you don't even see your name from Raymonte. Like, I just I don't know. I'm not a celebrity, so I don't know how much they got going on a daily basis and all
Mm-hmm.
of that. But I also feel like some shit you just doesn't require a response. Doesn't require you
Yeah.
to say anything. It ain't like he said Cardi is a light-skinned raggedy bitch who be getting all these motherfucking opportunities but don't do a motherfucking thing. Meanwhile, all of us out here hustling our black asses off and we don't get shit. Like, all he said was Cardi gets this in comparison to other artists who rap the same exact way and same exact things.
Mm-hmm.
A fact is a fact. I hate when people get mad about the facts. Like let's stop
That's
acting
what I'm saying.
delusional.
I think it's lack of maturity and just like lack of understanding, and then you're not trying to understand either. Like you just think somebody's trying to come at you, and I don't know if that's the hood mentality or what. Like to always defend yourself all the time, or to always feel like it's a like somebody coming at you is a threat, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not that. But I just think when you're a public figure, you're gonna come up all the time. If she really responded to everything every time somebody came at her, she wouldn't have had time to put fucking Cowboy Carter out. Like,
Or Renaissance.
I
Hell.
mean, like, she ain't got time, especially now that Cowboy Carter is out, because it's been tons of people reviewing the album that don't like it or whatever, or are
Mm-hmm.
using her as an example for all kinds of shit. But it's like
Hey, that white man set up on that radio and called Beyonce and the rest of us some dogs who need to piss everywhere and mark their territory. Did you see Beyonce getting on Twitter talking about that motherfucking cracker ass nigga gonna say some shit about me and y'all go download Cowboy Carter? No, she didn't say shit. She released her album and kept it pushing.
Yeah. I just feel like they be really comfortable trying to like go back and forth with people and argue, but when it comes to like standing on issues or saying your piece about some shit that actually matter, now you don't want to do that. Now you don't want to say anything about that. I just feel like our priorities be so like out of whack, and that be making me lose respect for people.
Right. I agree.
Mm.
I agree. So hopefully Cardi will mature some more, especially with her raising black children
Right.
who are already a little darker than her. So might have a different experience than she did growing up. Let's see. To end off, let's see. I don't know. All of these is heavy. I said all these is heavy.
I was about to say the cutting off close friends, because we could talk about B Simone and
I haven't watched this new podcast at all.
I haven't watched the new so if y'all don't know, you know, what's her name? B Simone and Amber, they ended the No For Sure
Megan
podcast.
Ashley.
Megan Ashley. I said Amber.
Amber.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Who's Amber?
I knew it was an A name.
Megan Ashley.
But they ended their podcast, and now B Simone is about to come out with her new podcast, and it's called like Let's Try This Again.
Yeah, and Megan Ashley also has a podcast on YouTube or YouTube channel that she also does stuff
on. B Simone, she put out like a promo to her podcast. I think it's actually out today, or the first episode came out today. And in the promo, it's like she's walking to the set, and when she sit down, it's two chairs there, and she's like, "What's going on? Like, what is this?" And so they come and get the other chair. And in some of the promo or whatever, she just put kind of like some salacious like clips or whatever, where she was saying, oh, like whether it be friendship or relationship, like if I'm not friends with you no more, it's because I stopped talking to you. Like with all my other friendships are very long term, like whatever, it's not, you know, I'm not the problem and all this stuff. And so I saw a lot of this like talk on TikTok and online about like, when you stop being friends with somebody, should you talk bad about them? Like, even if y'all had a nasty fallout, like, do you have a loyalty to them to like, you know, not talk bad about the situation even if y'all ended badly? Or do you like I don't know, or like do you tell the truth? Because if you look at Megan and all the interviews that she's done lately, she doesn't say anything bad about her. Like she don't even have an attitude about it. She's just like, oh, like, you know, it really sucks or whatever, but I'm trying to move forward. Like, you really can't even get no real answer. She's like, oh, I just wish her the best. But then when the song come out, it gives like catty, messy, like whatever.
Well, I've been told y'all I don't like B Simone. I think we've gone over this on the podcast before.
Yeah.
And I said a while back when they were still doing a podcast that there was an energy about them that seemed malicious between them. Like they didn't seem like real friends. And I got it from Megan to B. Simone because it was and I think I've said this on this show before. It was an episode that they did, and they were doing like Never Have I Ever or something. And Megan was like, yeah, never have I ever went to the club and got drugged by a rapper and then went home naked, not knowing what happened that night. And it was like, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck would you even like it's just certain, she would always say certain shit to me that always seemed as if she was trying to make B. Simone look bad on the podcast or looked like she wasn't this, wasn't the B. Simone that she had always portrayed herself to be. So that was something that, like when they broke up, I wasn't surprised. Now, what I am surprised by now is the shift where Megan Ashley is now like fully like giving the preacher's wife. And B. Simone is kind of sticking to what she know best, B. Simone. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched the episode. But to answer the original question, I think that when you fall out with somebody as a person who has fallen out with a friend of 10 plus years, I think when you end on bad terms, you're going to talk shit. It's just like ending a relationship with a nigga. If that nigga cheat on you, you want to let the whole world know that he an ain't shit ass nigga and that he cheated on you. Right. And a lot of people say, and I believe this to a certain extent, that like friendship breakups are harder than relationships because a lot of time you didn't had this friend longer than you didn't been with anybody in your life. Yeah. So when you and that person no longer have that understanding or that type of relationship, especially if y'all were really close, it takes a long time. It took years for me to like not to have something good happen to me or something happen and I'd be like, damn, I want to call Britney. Damn, I want to call Britney. It just, it's one of those things. But now as I've matured over the years and I've grown, it's like I can say her name. I don't have no ill will in my heart for her. Like it's all good. Like she took my mama flowers when my grandma passed. Like we ain't got no beef, but it's also like I don't have to be cool with you. But when we first fell out, did I talk about her like a dog on the street? For sure. Because I was hurt. I was upset. I felt like, she had betrayed me and did not support me in our friendship when I felt like I had given her my all and poured my all into her. So for sure, I think that it's when if you agree, like with the situation with, I think, See the Thing Is podcast, they had supposedly agreed not to talk about each other. And then I don't know where the correlation got missed up. Right. But then they started talking about each other. I feel like if we come, like, God forbid, knock on wood, anything ever happen over here, it's like, I would hope that if me and you agree and say, hey, you know what, we're gonna be respectful. We're going to end it. We're going to split this down the middle. It is what it is. And we done. That we will both, stick to that if we've agreed. Now, if we end on bad terms and we was behind closed doors saying bitch and hoe and da-da-da, I mean, you might be a bitch and a hoe on Instagram too.
I don't know. I feel like, okay, at our big age now, would I publicly... okay, like we do have this podcast or whatever. People who I'm not friends with anymore, would I come on this podcast and like call them by name and do all that shit? No, I wouldn't do that. I would tell the story, right? And of course, the story is biased because it's from my opinion, but I'm gonna tell the story just like how I told the story about my friends from like elementary school who I'm not friends with anymore because of that wedding situation. That was a stupid ass situation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna tell the story, but I don't, even with them, I don't have any like malice in my heart. Now, then when I was younger, I can't say that I had like so much malice even then because I felt like we were already like drifting apart. And so it kind of just felt like an inevitability. You know what I mean? Like it kind of didn't surprise me, the response I got and everything. But I don't know, but now at my adult age, am I gonna go online and badmouth you? No. But I feel like it's my experience to tell my story. Just like even with my friend who I talked about him before, who was doing some stupid shit, and we're not friends anymore. Like, I don't have no ill will towards her. I don't even talk about her unless it's to another mutual friend that we had, because she's not friends with her either. But me and her can sit up and talk about it because me and her knew her.
Right.
But, am I just gonna go online and like post her name and like do all the things and people know who I'm talking about? Absolutely never. I would never do
Oh
that.
yeah, I'm not gonna post no
Mean?
names.
That's
I'm
not
not
my
gonna say no
style.
names. And yeah, at this point, and do y'all know those little memory things? I be getting, and if
Yes.
you've been a follower of mine for a long time, then, or if you've been a friend of mine, my Snapchat used to be where I emptied the clip, okay? And I be like, oh, I've grown so much when I get those little memories. And it's always a long ass paragraph where I didn't went on Snapchat and be like, these motherfucking bitch ass niggas don't know what the fuck they like going off. And I'm like, why the fuck did I put this out here? Like, why did I?
Yeah.
Because all I see is that I look bad because don't nobody know who the nigga I'm talking about. Don't nobody know. Like, it's like now I look like the crazy girl who just telling her business online for no reason. Cause ain't like nobody reached out to me and was like, hey, what's going on with that nigga that you were talking about?
Right.
Like,
everybody just looking at it like, who the fuck she talking about?
So I'm embarrassed. I was so embarrassed of myself looking back at it. I was like, ooh, I can't believe I did that. So I will say, like, in that aspect, I don't like it, but I don't know. I feel like it just depends on like the situation. And I feel like especially if it's like a public thing, like a public, like the pod, like B Simone and her friend, their podcast, or See the Thing Is podcast, things like that. It's like y'all were, it's kind of hard for it not to be a public thing because
it was already so public.
Right. So it's like, and we know the internet gonna speculate. So it's like when people break up, they're gonna automatically assume that it's beef.
Yeah. I kind of think when it's a podcast or something like that, I do feel like maybe y'all should, whether it's together or whether it's separate, y'all should have some kind of like closure or just like something for the people. Because I feel like for the people who supported you, it's like, damn, you just leaving them hanging. Not if it's a relationship. I get if we don't know why people break up in a relationship, but I guess for like a podcast or something, just something like, oh, we wasn't getting along, or like, we just decided to go in a different direction, we want to do different things, or something, but that don't mean you gotta argue online like JT and Carisha. But like, I just feel like you kind of like owe the public something or some kind of explanation or whatever. But I don't know.
I say use discernment, and I say also just be careful about if you do choose to say stuff online or publicly about somebody, be careful what you say, because once it's said, it's been said. So you can't take it back, which is going back to the very first topic, like we were talking about JT and Carisha. It's like, if you say some foul ass shit on Twitter because you mad in the moment to Carisha, that shit, I mean, you said it. Like, you didn't say it now and it's out there. You ain't no take backsies. So I feel like when you doing a public arguing, you kind of really, and arguing in general with people that you care about, you really got to be mindful of the things you say, because once it's said, it's said.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day gonna end.
Period. 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 She preached.
And that's what we call journalism, people, because we brought that bitch all the way back around.
I know that's right.
Make sure y'all follow us on all our platforms. The TikTok that I posted got over 100 likes. So shout out to y'all. The one about Nicki Minaj. So shout out to y'all. But make sure y'all follow us on all of our platforms. It's always linked below. My Instagram is @TheRealAbani
My Instagram is _@TheRealJessicaMonique. And you can find me on TikTok @TheRealJessica_Monique. Everything else is down below, or wherever you find us. There's a link tree somewhere, child. It's a link to a link to a link to a link. So you can find all the links you want. And thank you for watching. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Okay, because we trying to get our brand deals and our brand trips and stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Right now, I'll just take the check. You ain't even gotta fly me nowhere. Right. I take the money.
I'm gonna say right now the money, but in the future.
Right. We don't mind getting flued out for opportunities. That's not what I'm saying. So if you want to bless us, we will take the blessing. But what I'm saying is that I also am open and willing to just the money. Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Period.
We will catch y'all next week. Please be safe, be smart, and have a good